everybody. My name is Tommy, and today we're going to continue with our lessons about science. Do you like science? Science can give you a lot of knowledge. Now, before we have science, I want to show you something. Now, we have this circular piece of cardboard. I place my hand in it. If I take this circular piece of cardboard and I place my hand in it, no shirt. It has a shirt. How do you do it? We're going to place your fist in here and then put your shirt right in this gap. So pull your arm into it, reaches here. Then you have no shirt. If you pull it out, you have a shirt. Now, you see, do you know science is really amazing? You can learn a lot of science by searching on the internet and also searching at all of the other things. Today, we're going to talk about how far does the sky reach, which eventually means where does the atmosphere end and space begins. Are you ready to learn about this part? Well, let's get started. Here is the first part. Day 1. Have you got your book? It is your science book. Open your science book and move to Move to Big Idea 3, Day 1. Now, could you see now? Are you ready to open your eyes to learn about it? Well, let's get started. Now, are you ready to start this lesson? Well, let's begin this lesson. Part 1. Have your book in front of your mouth. How far up does the sky reach? Day 1. When you look at the sky, you are looking at a giant layer of air around the Earth. This layer is called the atmosphere. Now, that big, gigantic layer is called the atmosphere. Now, when we have the atmosphere, what do we mainly think about? Well, when we talk about the atmosphere, it is pretty obvious that we don't have anything. Now, in the atmosphere, we have lots of types of gases. We breathe in those gases. Ooh. Can you hold your breath? Now, try to hold your breath. 1. Now, did you hold your breath for 20 seconds? If you can hold your breath for 60 seconds, which is 1 minute, that's pretty good. Now, are you ready to move on with the questions? Well, the questions are pretty obvious. Let me get my full blown marker. And then I'm gonna write out obvious question. It is really simple. Do you know why it is simple? Well, when it is simple, it actually means when it's simple, it actually means that it's easy. You don't need to use any data in the Safari to help you, and you don't need to use anything. Just use your marker and pen. First, from a long cloud. Second, write the question. You write the question. I will read the question. What layer does the atmosphere end? Write it out. Have you finished? What layer does the atmosphere end? You're not gonna write 5 or 6 because you don't know. You can just write the atmosphere. The atmosphere ends at the last layer. That's how you will do it. Now, are you ready for the next part to come? It is pretty obvious you want to do something. Now, let's move on with the next question. The next question is going to be about the atmosphere. Now, you see, when we have the atmosphere, what do you mainly listen to? Now, you see, atmosphere. Atmosphere is a type of liquid. You're gonna choose yes or no. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you guess the answer? Well, the answer is rock, paper, scissors. Are you ready? Now, when you do this, you mainly talk about here. If you have something like this, you see, atmosphere is a type of liquid. True or false? Rock? If I'm gonna show you a really fun way to answer questions. Now, if there are 3 of you, one of you pick up a pair of scissors. Another of you pick up a rock or something hard. And the third of you pick up a piece of paper. Now, you're gonna do this. 3 of you, you're gonna get out a piece of paper, a rock, and a pair of scissors. Get out. Now, when you close your eyes, you will get this and then show it. Open it. Then, the one that wins the rock, paper, scissors game, they will be able to answer this question. Okay, you win. You're gonna answer the question. The question is, eventually, the question is really simple. Do you know why? Well, the question is simple because of one thing. We only choose true or false. Now, are you ready? Well, let's begin. The question is, the atmosphere is a type of liquid. True or false? I'm gonna give you 10 seconds, alright? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10! Did you guess the answer? The answer is pretty obvious, false. Atmosphere is gas. It is not liquid. It's maybe clouds in the atmosphere are made out of liquid, but not all of them. Some clouds are gray because of factories. Some clouds are white because of air. Some clouds are blue because of water. Some clouds are blue and gray mixed together because of water and air. And sometimes they could be a little yellowish and blue, of course, because it mainly rains. Only the clouds that have water rain. If you look up, you might see some white clouds. Not all clouds have rain in them. Some clouds are dark, what you don't know. Some clouds have shade, some clouds are really thick, so water can come through them. Some clouds are even thick. Sometimes they can be a little soft. We can go up to the mountain, use scissors and cut out a piece and eat it. Well, not all of them. You can just bring a pair of scissors with you to the top of the mountain. Go to where it's nearly the mountain's peak. Cut out the piece of cow. Cut, 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 cut. And then you jump with your parachute. Then you jump up with your parachute and cut, 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 cut. That's a pretty good way to make a cloud of the shape that you want it. Cut, 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 cut. Then you go to another mountain. Cut, 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 cut. Go to another mountain. Cut, 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 cut. And you're finished with your mini, as you know, soccer ball. You can go cut, 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 cut some left places of the soccer ball, and you're all finished. Ding, 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 ding. Or if you want to test out how smart people are, you can just get a bottle, bottles of water, open them, and throw them into the sky. Yeah. Butter wobble. You can just empty your water bottle cans, and you're all finished. Then you throw the bottles there, beep, 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 leaving a large pile. It's pretty obvious. The clouds are mainly used for fun. If you ever become a hiker, you can hike to the top of a mountain and ting, ting, ting. Ching, 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 ching. Make it into a soccer ball and you throw rocks down to the ground. You pick some rocks from the mountain and boom, 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 and boom. Oof, oof, oof. Now you see, that is a really fun learning about the part 1 with you. Are you ready to move on and learning about part 2? Well, let's begin with part 2. Can you see me? I am super duper red. I'm gonna wait for 9 seconds. Are you ready for the 9 seconds? Well, let's begin. Hello again. Now, we're gonna do it. You see, when we learn about it, now let's move on with part 2. Now, what is part 2? What will we learn in part 2? It is day 2 of how far up does the sky reach. Are you ready to move on with part 2? Well, you see, part 2 is obviously what you think. Very short. Are you ready to read part 2? Let's begin. The atmosphere is full of lots of types. The atmosphere is full of lots of types of things that we could discover. For example, inside the atmosphere, we have something really special. Do you know what is it? Well, the special thing about the atmosphere is that the atmosphere is always full of air. Okay, everybody? It is always full of air. The atmosphere never runs out of air. The air in the atmosphere can have lots of types of air, like carbon dioxide, oxygen, hydrogen, helium, and a bunch of other types of air too. But the higher you go, the less helium, oxygen, and other types of air there is. So you shouldn't go over the clouds and cut them, 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 cut them. Maybe water will just fill in the clouds. If you use a knife and shing, cut the water cloud. Oh, the water inside the cloud will fall from each cloud. Then the cloud will disappear. Then you throw another knife, throw, and then you throw other things. There it will form a large cloud. And then the things that you throw in there will fall to the ground. You can throw big pieces of cardboard. You can throw a whiteboard. You can throw other things there. You can even throw a large house there. House rain. Or you could throw plastic bags. You could throw metal rings. You could throw t-shirts. You could throw staplers. You could throw toys. You could throw scissors. You could throw laptops. And then there will be crazy rain. You could even pour some water on your water bottles in there. Then it would be sing rain. The laptop will be smashed. Everything will be smashed. Oof, oof, oof. Ah, oof, ah, oof, ah, oof, ah, oof, ah, oof, ah, oof. If the laptop experiences water, it will become a meteorite. A meteorite and crashes. So make sure you don't do anything up there. You put something, water into an oil in it, and you throw it to the ground. It will turn into a meteorite and crashes through the earth. You can just drop it down. Climb down to see a big explosion. The mountain will explode and you will fall. Some crazy stories. Now, let's move on with our next one. When we have this plane, a plane cannot fly, shoot, 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 or you will die. Now, are you ready for the questions? Dun, dun. Are you ready for the questions to begin with? Well, let's get started with the questions. Are you ready for the question part? I'm gonna bring somebody with me. As you know, helper. Then you're gonna make 3 fingers here and then ting, ting. You have a hand. A robotic hand, of course. Or you can make something even more interesting after this lesson. Maybe you could make magic. Or you could make a magical house that when you cut open a table, and then you cut open the table, and then you leave the hole there. And then you have something to show, a magic trick. I have a shirt right here, but I don't know where it is. Here it is. Now see, you can do lots of things and mail them to me. I've showed you a few gadget toys and fidget things. You're gonna make some magic. Now, you see, in this lesson, we're about to talk about here, these things, which is the atmosphere. Now, are you ready to move on with part 3? Part 3 is pretty obvious. It's really good. Now, let's move on with part 3. Now, what will you do in part 3? In part 3, I hope that you really like it. Are you ready for part 3? It's really long, so concentrate. The atmosphere on Earth can reach up to 60 miles above the ground. But, however, the thickest part is only 7 miles long. The bottom layer has all the types of weathers on cable. You see, the bottom layer has all the weathers. In the weathers, that's where our weathers happen. Also, the bottom layer, because it is most dense, that's why a lot of types of things really appear there. Now, you see, now that we finished the reading section of part 3, let's move on with the question section of part 3. Now, are you ready for the question section for part 3? Well, let's begin. Part 3, listening and happening. How far up does the sky reach? Question 1. How much does the atmosphere reach to space? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Boom, 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 boom. Ooh, ah. Now, 60 miles stretches 60 miles. Now, let's move on with the next question. Question 2. Question 2. Who will say the same thing? Question 2. Question 2 is pretty obvious to be for you. Question 2 is draw a cloud and cut it. What shape will you make? You have 20 seconds for this. Almost 20 seconds. Now it is 20 seconds. Now that you have 20 seconds, you could have something really amazing. 20 seconds, which is really good. Now that you have 20 seconds, let's see. What shape will you like? 3 answers. Triangle, circle, soccer. What will you choose? It is a shape, so you must choose triangle and, of course, circle. Do not choose soccer ball. Soccer ball is a thing. It is not a shape, even though it is shaped of circle. Now, let's move on with the 4th part, which is the review part. Almost ready. Boom! Now, are you ready for the review part? Let's begin with the review part. You have 12 questions to go. Question 1. Now I'm going to ask about these serious questions you need to answer. Serious questions you need to answer. Question 1. What's your favorite color? Alright, answered it in your worksheet. Question 2. What's your favorite animal? Have you answered it? Yes. Question 3. What do you want to be when you grow up? If you hate a spider, write exterminator. Exterminator is the person who gets rid of dangerous animals that live in your house. Now, those are the 3 questions I I set up for you. Did you like this lesson on how far up does the sky reach? The sky can reach up to 60 miles above the ground. That is the answer. So if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe me more at science.com Tommy Videos. So goodbye.